So, I finished the skid steer yesterday, sold it today, took it to deliver it, and we was rolling it off the truck. We found this bearing is shot. That was the roaring that we was hearing in the machine. We thought it was just one of these rollers hadn't broke loose. So I got the grease bleeding out of it right now. I'm going to take this thing apart, take this roller off. I'm going to make it right. I'm not going to sell anybody anything that, if it's within my power, I want to make it right. So I'll get another roller ordered up. We'll get this one off and see what it looks like. Let's get into it. Okay, I brought the Mini X in, pressed it against that roller, and it looks like it's all the way back. All kinds of goober sneeze coming out, as Morsky calls it. Hoober sneeze, whatever that word is he uses. Got plenty of slack. My plan, hopefully, is to not, I probably won't even raise the front up. I'm going to try to, well, I might have to. I've got to wiggle this out away from this. I don't know. I'm going to have to try to get it off the ground. But I think I've got that pulley pushed back as far as it needs to go. There ain't no more grease coming out. Now I'll back the Mini out and jack this thing up off the floor, put it on some jack stands, maybe about 2 inches, and see if I can go about getting this track off. If I have to, I'll use the Mini to pull it off, but let's see what happens. I could probably put some pipes in there. I see some guys put some little pieces of pipe in right under there and roll it, and it rolls it right off. We'll see what happens. Well, it's up off the floor, so now I gotta get me some little 2x2 blocks and stick them in between the teeth there and drive it around over the roller, and it should slide this way, slide right off. Well, it's jammed in there, but it's awful tight. Well, over the top didn't work, but I'm having some luck on the bottom here. Probably got it up too high. Got too much slack. Droop, whatever you call it. But I left 2 in here on every other thing, and I put my crooked crowbar in there, my tire tool. Pried it here and slid it out. I got a bigger bar I got to go get out of the building, and then I should be able to pry it the rest of the way over and then lift it off of this one. Well, it's off of there. This is not going to be a how to take tracks off video because it wasn't easy. I wound up using my blocks on the bottom roller, and once I got it off the bottom roller, I just drove it up over the top roller and drove it off. Hopefully I can put it back on the same way. Put my blocks in, slide it over the bottom roller, and then walk it over top of the top roller once my blocks are out. I don't know a better way. Hindsight being 40-60, if I left it out in the driveway, I could have used that Mini to manipulate this track on and off. It was dumb on my part, but I wanted to leave it in the building while I was working on it, so I can't have both. And I definitely can't get the Mini in here to track around it. You can see how bad that burn is. It's pushed right up against the front. But every time I've ever worked on this, I've been by myself, and I could hear something squealing. I could never find it. But when the new owner was walking along the side of it, he was watching that bearing, and he said that's where the noise is coming from. So I'm going to make it right. I'm not going to stiff anybody with a broken machine. I'll get this track off here. I had to go get the mega bar, pike pole, whatever you call it. I used my tar tools and a few blocks, and I was able to get it off the track. So I'm going to see if I can pull it up off of here, slide it. I'm going to try not to take it off the front roller if I can help it. I'm just going to slide it to the side. Yeah, I want to slide it far enough where I can get a big breaker bar on those 2 bolts. There's a bolt on each side that holds that pulley in. Most likely it ain't been off in a long time, so it's going to be fun. Well, after some tweaking and twerking, I got it right out of there. I was worried about these bolts, and this Milwaukee zipped them out of there like they wasn't nothing. I know they're Loctite because they stunk awful when they come out, but they come out of there like nothing. And it's pretty dirty and rusty, but all in all, it's in good shape. These are anyway. But you look at this roller, it's just toast. And I can't see any way to rebuild that. They may be rebuildable, but whatever's in there is probably ruined, be impossible to get off. I'm just going to see if I can find the whole assembly. This may be wore a little bit anyway, but I'm going to try to find the whole assembly. Bobcat has it, eBay has it, Skid Steer Solutions has it. I don't know if we got any of them in stock, but I know they've got them. So, see if I can find it and get one here, and then we'll finish up this thing when the parts come in. Well, the part is here for the machine. It appears to be the same roller, slightly taller, but it's got this lip on it and this one doesn't, so I assume this one's worn just slightly. It looks like it's a ton bigger, wider and everything, but I believe it's the same part. I don't know what this little red hole is. It's like an Allen screw where you can put oil in it. So these must be oil filled. I thought they was packed full of grease. I guess they're oil filled. And also see where you can take these apart. You can't tell it on this one. You can't see the lock ring on it. At least I couldn't. I guess it's on there somewhere. So I'm sure these are rebuildable. But I guess you'd have to put seals and everything in it and make sure the seals fit tightly, because you, like this one is, you fill them with oil. I'm going to clean this mounting plate up over here a little bit, get some of that crud out of it, and see if I can fit this in here. Well, I've got it up in there. It wasn't easy. I'm going to put some Loctite on these bolts, if I got any. This thing may be empty. Doesn't seem to be nothing coming out. all dried up. Oh, you gotta pull the stem out. Well, how neat is that? These may never come out again. I don't think I'm using the right Loctite. There we go. Now the socket, where's the impact? Or give me a second. Okay, it's there. Doesn't seem to be out of line. It's tight, I know that. It lines up good, got plenty of clearance. Center's nice. They had a little special note in their ad for this. It's come from, I think, Midwest Steel or Midwest Equipment or something like that. It's American, US made, it says on their invoice and their website. Made with US steel. So I can't think that it would be any different than what would be on our factory. The factory stuff now comes from Doosan, which is what, Korea or somewhere like that, but there are some Bobcat plants here in America. So I wouldn't think that this would be any different than what would go on it, or maybe even better. This is the heavy duty version, and I don't know what the difference would be between the heavy duty and standard duty or light duty, whatever they call it. There's no difference in the size of the bolt. Looks like the bearings are the same size. This center housing is a little larger, so there may be a bit heavier bearing or something inside. This is the same width. It's got more wire surface on it. This one's worn down, so hopefully everything still fits on there and rolls like it's supposed to. This has to be the hardest working part of this machine. This is the heel. So when this machine turns or when you raise it up on its back, anything, is every bit of the pressure is going on this back wheel back here. So this is a very hard working piece of this machine, if not the hardest. So I guess it has to be heavy. That thing was heavy. I had to wrestle it in there. Now I got to get this Jimangus track back on here. Man, you're not taping. Alright, I got the top gear on. I had to use the cherry picker. I pried the bar up on top of it and held pressure on it and rolled it backwards, and it rolled on. But I need a helper for this one. So let's see if I can get this in view, and I'll get this machine started. Yeah, I'll stand up here. What do I have to do? Well, the track's back on and tensioned. It's got about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 under each roller. It fit up in there nice. A little harder to get back on, I guess, because that roller is slightly larger. I don't think it's larger than the other side. Yeah, this one's worn just a little, but it won't be enough to make any difference. You can see this track has still got rubber over all the lugs. These are really good tracks. And hopefully our little squeal will go away. That should take care of this. I'll get this down. In a few minutes we'll give her a test drive. Well, there it is. All the junk that I had to use. Blocks of wood to block it up, and I filmed the putting the tracks on and driving it up down the driveway, and lucky for you guys, the battery was dead the whole time and I was talking to dead air. She's back on the trailer and everything's back in place. I thought I'd messed something up bad. You can't see it. Let me get some light here. There was grease all over everything, and then I realized when I pumped that grease out of there, it had fell down on the pulleys. So, no big deal. It'll just keep it from rusting for a day or two. I didn't intend for grease to be on it, but it'd be fine. She's strapped down, loaded up. I'll head out in the morning and drop it back off at the new owners, and hopefully, I drug my driveway down and it worked pretty good. Hopefully this is a done deal. I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for hanging out with me. You missed probably most of the parts of getting that track back on there, but I'll see if I can find what I can. I don't know what filmed and what didn't. Appreciate you guys watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment. We want to hear from you guys. And we'll see you on the next one. Stay clean, everybody.